Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And today's stream is coming at you a little late. I tried to stream earlier, like around 10:30 or 11 o'clock, but I ended up having to do some work earlier today. I had to do some yard work, and so now that I'm done, I can get into the nitty gritty. I can finish working on this asset, this whole scene. And you guys get to watch my process. So what I'm going to be working on is the road lights and a few of the chairs and other sort of like commodities that you would see on the street when you like drive downtown or when you drive in the inner city of wherever you live. So first I want to go to these two front buildings and I'm going to hide them because I want to see where exactly I'm drawing and working at. So for this one, I'm going to be working on this sort of pole right here. Now let's see. Okay. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry. So anyway, like I was saying earlier today, I had gotten up at like I woke up at around like 6:36 and then I chilled out. I like drank some coffee or whatever. And I just chilled out for a minute. And so I ended up mowing the lawn, weed eating, and then blowing off the deck and driveway because when you mow, you leave a lot of like stray grass. And you can't and I don't think it's illegal to blow it into the street because I live in like a cul-de-sac. But essentially, it would be bad if I just blowed it into the street or blowed it into a neighbor's yard. And like, I'm not that horrible of a person, so I ended up like blowing it back into our lawn, and like it'll be fine. Like it'll like die on its own or whatever. Anyway, I just finished doing that, and I want to say, I thought honestly I was gonna be done in maybe like I don't know 30 minutes to an hour, but it ended up being longer than that. I mean, I shouldn't have said 30 minutes. More like I thought it was going to be like an hour to an hour and a half, and it ended up being longer than that. So I just ended up working for like longer than I meant to. And after that, I'm not going to lie, I was pretty freaking tired. And I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I did actually end up working on this a little off stream, like the 3 days between streams, because I like to stream between uh, Tuesday. I like to stream on Tuesdays and Fridays. So I ended up just working a little bit on the background as well as on the actual animation itself. And if we end up getting to it, I will actually work on, or at least I'll try to work on the animation itself this stream if I'm not too tired. I also saw that I got 3 new subscribers over the course of this week, which is always nice. If you're watching, welcome to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art where I just do my own little thing. I'll have to work on a proper greeting, but just welcome over on this side. It's pretty chill over here. I don't really talk about folks or do anything like wild or crazy. I'm just here for the art. And I'm here to tell you guys stories. Shit. Dang it. So yeah, that's actually something that happens sometimes with Photoshop is it will sometimes things it'll just jump or it'll do this weird thing where it just freezes and crashes. And I've tried like closing the document and opening it back up again, but that doesn't help. So I just have to close the program entirely, and then I'll have to start it back up again. So let me save it. I'm gonna have to close it. And I'm sorry that happened, guys. So just give me a moment to start Photoshop back up again. And I'll probably close this out. Okay, now you guys are just looking at all of my shit. Where is it? I'll have to open it up and go to recents directly. I also use, just so you guys are informed, just so you guys know, I also use Photoshop for, my D&D stuff. Sometimes I like to edit maps, draw maps, or like do other things. Don't worry about it. And now Photoshop is loading. I'm sorry, this is so unprofessional. After I'm done with the stream, I'll likely edit it in Studio and just cut this segment out. Okay, we are back in business. And you guys didn't see anything. Now that I'm thinking about it, I could have probably drawn or done something that was more magical with the street lights and or whatever. It's just I don't know. Like in the moment, I wasn't thinking, and now that the moment's gone, it's like I'm thinking about all of this stuff that I could have done. Like maybe the streetlights could have been floating, or I don't know. Maybe I could have done something else, and I just chose not to do it because partially because of like time constraints. I don't want to spend too much time on this, and I know I've been taking my time already on this project because I really want to just make sure that this is a good product, that this is a good thing that I'm presenting to people. And I'm not afraid of taking risks. Like I will take risks all day, every day. This whole project is a risk because I mean, hey, maybe nobody will see it. And obviously, I have more hope than that. But like every artist, every not even just artists, but everyone in general who wants to make something or do something completely original, they always have that voice in their head like, oh, like what if nobody watches, or oh, what if nobody does XYZ, and that's just natural. You will always feel that. You will always have a moment in your life where you think your stuff is crap or you think that you won't get ahead. And you may want things like a certain way and you just won't get it until it's your time. And like even me, like my mom, I love her, but she's a bit of a control freak. And like there's nothing wrong with that. That's just who she is and I love her for it. It's just sometimes you can't control anything or everything that you want to. Sometimes you just gotta let things be. Like you'll find success on your own. Good things will happen to you. They just don't come when you want them to or when you expect them to. And I mean, like, hey, if you were to tell me that I was going to make a video essay on cartoons being for kids, I wouldn't have believed you. If you were to tell me, hey, you're gonna have 94 subscribers and you're gonna like steadily grow, I probably wouldn't believe you. It, like even the little things and how my life has gone thus far, I still sort of can't believe how far I've come. I've even like graduated college, which was something that I've always wanted to do and I've always sort of like looked forward to. So like we don't get what we expect and we're always surprising ourselves, which is just something that I love. So I guess I can talk a little bit about why I chose the setting that I did. So obviously, I chose New York because New York is like the quintessential city of progress and the city of progression. At least for like the Western world, like whenever you talk about progress or whenever you talk about like advancements, it's either like New York or California. I mean, not California, but like Hollywood, California. So it's like I wanted to choose a location that is known for progress and progression. And I didn't want to make a property or a project that was just like, oh, cyberpunk, or oh, the world returned to like fantasy where everyone wears like weird fantasy clothes or like gowns or whatever. Like that's not what I wanted to do because I essentially want to make something new or something that isn't normally seen. Because what we get in like these urban fantasy stories is like magic is hidden, like fey creatures and characters who are like orcs or elves or like monster people. They hide in the shadows. I wanted something on display. I wanted something that was common knowledge. Like what if magic was common knowledge? What if everyone knew about magic and magic wasn't antagonized or feared, but it's something that everyone had and the world sort of adapted to accommodate for. So in this show, you're gonna see flying carpets. Like kids are gonna have hoverboards or like magic carpets and stuff like that. Kids are gonna be riding on broomsticks. You're gonna see moms like you're gonna see like mothers who have complete control of their house and like they're using magic to cook and clean. You're gonna have like men who are working at like magic plants where they're like funneling magic into these machines and that energy powers the world for them. You're gonna see a bunch of different slice of life things. Like on top of combat and on top of like fighting or powerful displays of magic, you're gonna see just the regular world if it had magic. Which is something that I love and I like thinking about because it's like, what if the world was perfect? Or not perfect, but like, what if everyone had equal opportunities? What if we could make a utopian society? What would it look like if magic was common knowledge, commonplace, and it was something that everyone can do? And like, there is no magic disease. There is no people who can't use magic or who are blocked from using magic. How magic functions in this world is it is primarily based on desire and intent. It's what you want. So someone who is unable to channel or unable to use magic, it would have to be it wouldn't be like a physical deficiency. It would more so be like a mental block. So to have a guy who can't use magic, it's either his personal preference is he doesn't want to use magic, or perhaps there is something wrong with him, either emotionally or mentally, to where he can't process or he can't think about what he wants to project on his physical world. Like he doesn't, like the person doesn't have desires, or the person can't imagine or can't think. Like even babies and small children in this world can use magic. Like even small kids, even though they may not understand how fire works, or they may not understand how to enhance their speed or strength, it's more so like children are children are good at things like illusion magic because they are imaginative. Babies and those beings, and babies and like young people in general, they're also more geared towards destructive magic because they are pure emotion and pure temperament. However, it's not like a baby is going to be a ticking time bomb. The world has accustomed to babies and young people with explosive tempers. Like they have buildings that are enchanted or use special metal that can absorb magic or redirect it. They have like telephone poles or different objects and instruments that can absorb the magic that like a child or a baby may project so that it's not gonna be as much of a fallout. And then not just that, but parents as well. Like parents are gonna have special trinkets or objects that they made so that they can redirect or absorb their child's sort of magic energy so that it doesn't become a problem for them or the people around them. So I really took time to create a world where magic exists, where everyone can use magic or can or has like a special power or whatever. And of course, there are also laws and rules too. I didn't want to go the My Hero Academia route where you needed like a license to use your magic because it works for a superhero world because then it clearly defines who is in the right and who is in the wrong. But with this world, with Witches 13, it's more so like an emotional thing, or rather a philosophical sort of concept. Like yes, everyone can use magic, but in a world where if somebody wanted to warp reality or like change the world, do we have the right to impose laws on them? We were all given magic. Do we have the right to stifle somebody's creativity? Because it's not like warping the laws of physics is going to be an easy thing. Something that exists in this world is sort of like a collective unconsciousness. People just understand that there are laws to the universe and certain things that you don't do. So if you wanted to do something like go back in time or sort of like destroy gravity as a principle of the universe, then on a widespread scale, then that means that you're gonna have to put your will and your beliefs up against the unconscious mindsets of like hundreds and thousands of people that are out in the world, which is gonna be something that's very hard to do, nigh impossible even. Now there are things like, how do I put it, sacred spaces or private domains, and those are usually like houses or sort of like maybe pocket dimensions or personal spaces that people have created. Which I mean is already a powerful feat in and of itself to like make your own dimension or make your own sort of like pocket dimension. You would already have to be like a powerful magic user in general. Because there are different types, because that's another thing. There are different types of magic users. Not everyone is an arcanist, not everyone is a wizard or mage. There are druids, there are witches, people who use more like nature, they have a more natural or nature themed perception of magic. Because your school of magic, how you project your magic, is mainly influenced by your worldview and by how you perceive it. So scientists, they're usually wizards or arcanists who use math or use their understanding of physical laws of the world. And they'll say like, oh, I want to make a fireball. Okay, then that's going to be oxygen, carbon, all lighter material. Whereas folks like druids or witches, they may actually draw on like nature itself. And they would say like, Earth Mother, grant me this fire to cleanse my enemies or something like that. So magic is really all about perception. And there's really no school that is stronger than the other. It's all about beliefs and perception. Because that's something that I also want to avoid is I want to avoid schools of magic being stronger or weaker than the other. I really want to make a world where literally everyone is equal or has the potential to be equal. And another thing is this world and this setting is in fact a very magic forward story. Like everything is magic or the manipulation of the element that magic is derived from. It's not like there are warriors who don't use magic and they're just naturally like exponentially strong. That's not really how it works. If you are a physical fighter, then it's not that like, oh, you train your body to not use magic. You're using magic to make your muscles stronger or make your muscles denser or like increasing your strength and durability overall. People are still human. People still can die or can suffer too much damage. It's like, how do I put it? The only thing magic really did in this world is it gave people the ability to alter their surroundings with their mind. And then it also gave them a like longer lifespan. Other than that, you can you can still die from like falling debris, or you can still be killed by other people. It may be harder, but it's still possible. Okay, now for these street lights, I think I'm gonna go with a darker gray. So let me use the eyedropper tool to select this gray right here. Then I'm going to darken it. And I'm probably gonna add a little bit to the, let me take away some saturation. I think that's a good color right there. Now I am thinking long term. I honestly believe that this story, which is 13, it can probably be finished in maybe 2 to 3 seasons. And then I can think of maybe one or two spin-offs that just focus on like the world itself rather than like rather than the main characters. Cause that's something that I love and that I wish was explored more, is when you make a spin-off, let's not focus on the main characters again, or let's not explore the backstory of a character. Let's just explore the setting with like a new cast or an adjacent cast of characters. Like Witches 13 is at its core a revenge story and people searching for justice. But I would actually love to explore maybe later on a story that's geared more towards like the fallouts of everyone having magic, or like sort of a side story of, I don't know, like another group of people who are trying to change the world. Or maybe we go back in time and we explore like the sort of like that rough 50 years of the world sort of revitalizing. So we'll see like elven civilizations, or like what it was like the first time when animals became, more magical and dangerous. That would be nice. That would be pretty cool. And here I am talking like I already have like a show deal. I don't. I'm just a very, I don't know, an imaginative person, I guess. I've just, one of the things I love, and this is like any sort of like storytelling or like tabletop role playing game or anything. I love doing things that are going to be mentioned in passing. I love lore, and I love when characters' actions affect the world around them long term. Like, I could talk about Genshin Impact and how Makoto created like the Sakura tree. Like that was pretty cool. Like she essentially created a tree that sort of protects Inazuma and it purifies the ley lines. Or like how there is a canyon in Leeway where there, like all those rocks you see, they're actually just spears that the Geo Archon like threw to strike down a bunch of gods. And then like hundreds of years later, they became like this mountainous range. Like that's cool to me. And there are other things you see in like D&D where it's like what was it called again? Like there was this, I don't know, it was like this ravine or island of glass, and that was like it, and that was actually like an ancient civilization. It's cool things like that, like little nuggets of history where they hint towards something deeper. And it shows love and it shows care because you dedicated. I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound like a bad thing or like people don't do this, but you took the time to create something or do something that can live on beyond a character in history. It sets up a sort of history for a character or for a group of characters, and it also sets up the greater history of the common folk around that character. Like, no wonder there are shrine maidens in Genshin Impact because someone needed to attend to the tree, someone needed to purify the tree. Like there's a whole world quest that hints at like a shrine priestess who needed to purify the tree that Makoto left. That it's awesome. Like it's those little interconnected things that affect each other that are chef kiss to me. Like that is beautiful. That's amazing storytelling. And that's sort of something that I want to do in Witches 13 is I want to make a world and I want to make little nuggets in that world that can go back and say like, oh, this this location speaks so much to this character, or oh, this monument or this item, it says so much about character XYZ because they made it or they did that. Give me 1 minute while I drink some juice. My throat's getting kind of parched. Which is why I feel kind of bad that I didn't really take the chance to work on the little things, like a floating stoplight, or like more magical plants, or like maybe some floating buildings. And I know I shouldn't be too critical of myself because this is, in fact, the first time I'm doing something like this to this extent. But I still love working on this regardless. This is fun to me. I love doing this. I love working on this. And there's always post production. There's always like, again, this is a teaser trailer. Like this is just to give people a taste of what's going on or what's gonna happen in this world. Like I don't have to be. Of course, I need to assure quality, and of course, I need to be critical of myself. But if I miss something or if I forget something, I shouldn't be too critical of myself. As long as I learn from it, and I am, at least at the very least, I feel like I'm learning from this. To me, it just feels good and it feels nice to put your dream out there. And then I just want to do something and I want to work on something so that I'm not wasting my time. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've been applying to jobs and I haven't gotten any. And I don't just want to sit at home and act like I'm doing nothing. So I said, you know what, let me really work on this teaser trailer. Like, let me work on this and focus on this because I don't want to lose my skills. I don't want to just wait for my big break to come. I need to make it happen myself. And like I said, like, I have 94 subscribers. Like that's amazing. 94 people in this world like what I'm doing and they like watching me and that's amazing. This is an amazing feeling and I'm thankful for anyone and everyone who chose to sit here and watch my videos or have taken something from my videos. That's an amazing feeling and I just want to say thank you to all of you. I was originally going to leave the little I don't think they're awnings. But like in some headlights or some traffic lights that have like a little panel over the light in case of like rain or dirt or whatever. I was just gonna keep those blue, but then I decided against it. I thought it would be nicer and it would give enough what's the word? Division. I'll say division. And it would give enough division if I colored them. So then, let me make this red. Red. Next color is yellow. And then some green. I think greens are a bit darker than that. Okay. Those are the first set of stoplights. And I think what I'm going to work on now is I'll probably do this set of like front deck or front porch like greenery and bushes, and then I'll probably do this bench right here, and then I'll get on the back layer or behind this layer, and I'll work on the bench behind here that's sort of obscured by the building. That is a bad habit that I think I got from my mom. Is like sometimes I'll just be talking, 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 and then I'll forget what I say. So then I just say and a lot. I apologize for that. Okay, let's see here. Mm, one of my friends sent a video on Discord. Let me check that real quick. What the? So dumb. Anyway, I'm gonna ignore that. You know, you have that one dumb friend. Everyone has that one dumb friend. It's like you love them, but damn it, they just be doing some shit that makes you side eye. But it's all good. You love your homie nonetheless. Okay. Next we have these porch lights right there that I'm gonna have to do. Where is it? Brushes. Okay. Now I'm thinking I can just do like this is actually a nice geometric shape that I can do. Just like a bunch of sort of like curls or something. Because again, it's like because of the point of view, this is what Ao, the main character, is seeing. So of course it's gonna be far away from him. So a lot of this stuff isn't gonna be as detailed as it needs to be. And like of course, I'm not a bad artist. Like I can draw decent. But you guys are thinking, what? You can't draw good. Why are you even working on a show? It's all good. It's all good. Excuse me 1 second while I clear my throat and get some of your drink. Let me just. Sadly, I do not have a command for muting the mic and then turning it back on because of how shortcuts work with Photoshop is like every button is a different tool. So like the M button is the mass select or the not mass select but rectangular marquee tool. Then you have the L button, which is the lasso. B is the brush tool. And it's just I can't really set up shortcuts like I want to. So I have to be a little struggle or improper and just open OBS, mute myself, call for drink water, then unmute myself, which is which is improper. Like, I bet there are a bunch of other YouTubers you guys watch where they probably coughed or drinking water and you never even noticed. Me, like, I either like do small coughs trying to be quiet, or like I drink water and I try to be as quiet and soft as possible, which is rude, and I'm sorry about that. Excuse me. Now I think I'm going to add some green. I actually want to go with some. Actually, this is kind of hard because if I go with too dark of a green, then it might end up blending in with the windows when I composite and do post production stuff in After Effects and Premiere Pro. However, if I make it too light, then it might end up working against it. It might end up being too vibrant. So I think what I want to do is I'll go for like this nice middle tone in about this area right here. Maybe up a little bit into the left where there's a little less saturation. So then just like this, it gives me a nice bright green. Actually, let me go up real quick. Hide the rough layer. Back down here. It gives me a nice sort of light green that stands out from the white background, and it's also not too dark to where it just absently blends in with the background of like the road and the pavement. Now for the pot itself, I may actually go with like a reddish orange and sort of try to pull off the theme or the feel of one of those ceramic pots, because that sort of meeting green and green and red, two contrasting complementary colors, that can actually help. Now because this is sort of like a green that's a bit on the lighter side, I may actually want to do a darker red or a darker reddish orange, so that it's still that contrast, but it's not too nauseating, because that's actually something that happens quite a bit, and you see it mainly in in animations or shows that use a lot of Technicolor and bright color, like shows like My Little Pony or Centaur World. Like there are times where you feel sort of, what's the proper word, nauseated, because the bright colors, they mess with your eyes, and they almost mess with your sense of like gravity or perception. Like I have a younger cousin. I don't have any siblings, but I do have younger cousins. Like she would watch My Little Pony, and for a time, like, now don't at me, like, don't think I'm weird or anything, but like My Little Pony is like, it's a pretty good show. Like there were times where I watched it in my free time, but essentially, like when I watch it, like there were times where I had to take breaks because the bright colors were just making me feel kind of sick. And like, I'm not trying to insult the show. The show is good. The storylines are good. I like the message. The action scenes when they had them were really good. It's a good show. Just there were times where I felt sick from watching it. And not sick because it was like cringe, or it was like a bad show. It was sick because it was just the bright lights were messing with me. think that needs to be lighter. Now that is good. That's a nice color. And I think what I'll actually end up doing is I might end up adding some slight shading. Now, I haven't really added any shading yet because I'm trying to be careful for when I run this through After Effects once all the animation is done. But this may end up being nice. Like, this may end up looking nice. Now, I do actually want to go back and work on these traffic lines because this is actually really bad. Like, I low key feel kind of ashamed by this because that's just nasty. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Like, I just felt like I wanted to get this over and done with, and that really sort of affected my quality and how well I draw and do this. That's bad on me. Okay, so I finished those pots. I finished those traffic lights. I have three more benches to do, three more pots, and one final traffic light to do. So I actually am making some pretty good time and some pretty good progress. Now for the two benches, I might actually end up putting them both on the same layer as well. And then for this bench right here, as well as the two plants, I'll probably put them on their own layer. Actually, what I want to do real quick is I think I'm going to look up yellow lines, like look up images of yellow lines on roads because this is just really bothering me. And I could just not have them, but that actually might end up breaking the immersion or it might end up breaking the piece. So give me 1 second. There's the problem. There should be two of them, not one. I'm going to fix that right now because, again, it's just really bothering me. And I feel really bad for just like hastily putting something together. I shouldn't have done that. I'm just working on. I'm just redoing these lines. I feel kind of bad that I could have just rushed them. When I'm really concentrated, I just don't talk much. Yeah, this looks a whole lot better. I definitely like how it looks now. Because before it actually looked pretty bad. And I felt like something was off, but I just couldn't put my finger on what was wrong with it. Okay. Actually, how long have I been streaming for? That's a good question. Wow, I'm almost reached my 2 hour mark. So I might want to draw this live stream to a close. I'll go for maybe another 20, 30 minutes. At the very least, I want to finish redoing these street lines. And then I might do maybe two or three more props. It's actually funny because some of these elements you guys might not even see, but it's still proper and appropriate for me to draw them nonetheless. Because you don't know what's going to happen in post production. Shoot, I don't know what's going to happen in post production. Okay. Okay, so let me use the lasso tool. I'm gonna select this, bring it to the left a little bit. I'm gonna hold Alt, copy it to the right. There's just one more segment for me to do now. And if you're wondering, the reason why I had the lines curve is because I didn't want the ground to be too perfect or too straight. Obviously, when you're looking at something, nothing is perfectly straight. Even with pavement, there are gonna be like little lines and divots or like skewed perceptions. And even in a city, you'll actually notice if you take a second to really notice it, there are like small declines and inclines or places where the road may be like jutted out to the side or something like that. And that's really what I wanted to portray is it's light and maybe your first time around you may not notice it, but it's really the small things. And I actually did learn this in one of my courses, but it's really the small things, the small impurities and deviations that really show life to your art, and it really shows a character. Which is why, even though I'm a bit of a perfectionist, I still want to add a sort of life or a sort of, what's it called? Reality, I guess. That's not the proper word, but that's the close word. That's the closest word I can make to this setting. Okay, I'm done with the roads. Now let me add the other elements and see how it turned out. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. At least I think so. So I did that street light. I did that street light. Those plants are done. I need to do that bench. That bench right here. I need to do this and these two. Okay, guys, I am almost done. Nice. It's been a nice little project to work on and do. I really liked just the whole asset creation process. Let's see. Looks like Photoshop crashed again. I'm not just saying that, like, I'm trying to move stuff around and nothing is moving. Maybe that's a sign that I should take a break now or stop the stream early Sorry about that again. Anyway, everyone, I'm glad you stopped to take a look. I'm glad you all, took the time to sit down and enjoy my stream. And yeah, I look forward to this. I look forward to streaming and sharing with you guys my projects, even my more animation centered streams that's just me like doing the nitty gritty of like drawing each and every scene. And I just love talking and I love sharing things with you guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Anyway, this has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.